Hi boys and girls, we are in language and we are in lesson 157. What we're going to do today is we're going to learn about linking verbs. If you look in your worksheet on page 278, it explains to us what are linking verbs. It says, now that we know that verbs show action or state of being and that they sometimes help other verbs, we are ready to learn the 4 things that verbs can do. Verbs can also link the subject to a complement in the predicate part of the sentence. A verb which does this is called a linking verb. A linking verb links the subject with a complement in the predicate that describes the subject or renames the subject. Miss Morrow is nice. The adjective nice is a complement describing the subject. Miss Morrow is a teacher. The noun teacher is a complement, which is another name for the subject. You already know many of the linking verbs because the state of being verbs can also be linking verbs. So some of the verbs, state of being and linking verbs are am, is, are, was, were, be, been, been. Verb phrases which end with be, been, or been can be linking verbs. Study the following examples. Do you see that these verbs are sometimes used to show state of being and sometimes used to link the subject with words that describe or rename it? Jasmine is pretty. The adjective pretty describes the subject, so it is a linking verb. Anna is a good singer. Singer is another name for Anna, so is a linking verb. Zachary is here. Here is an adverb telling where, making is a state of being verb. Now you must memorize the rest of the linking verbs. They are called sometimes linking verbs because sometimes they link and sometimes they show action. So I'm gonna go to the projector now and we're gonna go and study some of the examples that are on page 279 that sometimes can be linking verbs, sometimes they are action verbs. So we're gonna check on and look at that difference. Okay, so on page 279, it says, study the following examples. Do you see that these verbs can sometimes be linking verbs and sometimes be action verbs? Let's look at the first one. The lemon tastes tart. Lemon is the subject. Taste is the verb on the sentence. And the adjective is tart. The lemon does not do anything. It is being linked with an adjective in the predicate. So the taste is the linking verb. I tasted the tart lemon. I did it. An action was performed. So tasted was the action verb. I is the subject. Lemon is the direct object. On number 1. Let me put this a little bit. Okay, number 1. Your head feels warm. So head is the subject. Feels is the linking verb. The adjective is warm. So feels is the linking verb. The baby feels herself blanket. Baby feels is the action verb. And blanket is the direct object. The air smells fresh. Air is the subject, smells is the linking verb, fresh is the adjective because it describes how it smells. I smell the fragrant roses. Smell is the action verb, roses is the direct object. That noise sounds strange. Noise is the subject, sounds is the linking verb, strange is the adjective. adjective because it describes the verb. The cook sounded the dinner bell. Cook is the subject, sounded is the action verb, the dinner bell is a direct object. So if you keep going and reading this, you could see the different examples and you could see how linking verbs and action verbs are used. Okay? So keep those in mind. It tells you sometimes in the little box here which some of the linking verbs are. Okay? And now we're gonna go ahead and we are going to see page 280. Okay, so it says, the last verb in the verb phrase determines whether it is an action or a linking verb. Linking verbs will be either from the state of being verb list or from the sometimes linking verb list. So it is a good idea for you to, when you're reading through the worksheet, it's a good idea for you to write those verbs. If the subject is performing the action of the verb, you know that it's an action verb. If a verb is followed by a word that describes or renames the subject, you know that it's a linking verb. Let's look at the first 5 on think. It says write linking verb, so write LV in the blank if the idolized verb is used as a linking verb, or write AV, action verb, if it is used as an action verb. Okay? The hungry boy tasted the warm pie. So we see that tasted is in italic. So is that a linking verb or an action verb? The hungry boy tasted the warm pie. Remember, think back. If you need to reread those again to make sure that you are understanding the difference between a linking verb and an action verb. So reread those. The hungry boy tasted the warm pie. Tasted is gonna be an action verb. The pie tasted good. The pie tasted good. So remember, if a verb is followed by a word that describes or renames the subject, you know that it's a linking verb. So tasted, and it's saying that it's good, and that's referring to the pie, right? The pie was good, so that would be a linking verb. Cinderella felt the soft velvet dress. Cinderella felt the soft velvet dress. So velvet, I apologize, felt. So felt, is that a linking verb or an action verb? It's an action verb because it's saying that that's how she felt the dress. So that's an action, she's touching the dress. Number 4, it felt warm and smooth. So felt warm, remember, is describing how it felt. So that would be a linking verb. Number 5, lilacs smell wonderful in the morning. Lilacs smell wonderful in the morning. So it's describing how the lilacs smell. So that would be a linking verb. Number 6, I could smell the lilacs through my window. So here is not describing anything, right? It's just saying that I'm able to smell them. It doesn't say how they smell or anything like that. So this number 6 would be an action verb. Number 7, I am looking for my lost puppy. So it doesn't describe how I'm looking or anything like that. So it's just an action. I am looking for my lost puppy. So that would be an action verb. Number 8, the teacher sounded the fire alarm. The teacher sounded the fire alarm. Again, that's an action verb because it's something that the person is doing. Number 9, that song sounds funny, is describing how the sound is, so that would be a linking verb. Number 10, you look so sad, is describing how you look, so that would be linking verb. For your homework, you're going to finish 11 through 20. That's gonna be your homework, okay? If you need clarifications, make sure that you read the worksheet again, especially the think back on this page, on page 280 at the top. It tells you 4 key points on how to differentiate between a linking verb and an action verb. So make sure that you go over that again. And for your homework, finish 11 through 20. And this is all for this lesson. I will see you back next